Okay, here we are. We're at Chapter 8, Food Safety Management Systems. This one starts out, seems like it's kind of a no-brainer, and then it starts talking about HACCP. So I really want you to pay attention to the HACCP part, especially acronyms like CA for corrective action, CL for critical limit, and a CCP as a critical control point. Food safety management systems are a group of practices and procedures intended to prevent foodborne illness, actively controls risk and hazard throughout the flow of food. These are the foundation of a food safety management system. We have the food safety training, personal hygiene program, supplier selection and specification program, and the quality control and assurance program. These are the foundation of a food safety management system: cleaning and sanitation program, standard operating procedures, facility design and equipment maintenance program, and your pest control program. Active managerial control focuses on controlling the 5 most common risk factors for foodborne illness. And again, all 5 are going to have something to do with the people handling the food. So purchasing food from an unsafe source, failing to cook food properly, holding food at incorrect temperatures, using contaminated equipment, and practicing poor personal hygiene. There are many ways to achieve active managerial control in the operation through training plans, manager supervision, incorporation of standard operating procedures, SOPs, standard operating procedure. And we have the HACCP program, which is hazard analysis at critical control points. And that simply is where in the flow of food do we eliminate, reduce, or bring to safe levels the threat of a foodborne illness in any food. But not all foods require a HACCP program. Most likely yours does not. But if you're selling sushi, if you're displaying live molluscan shellfish from a display tank, and a few other things, fresh squeezed orange juice, apple juice, and smoking to preserve, I'm sure. We'll see a list a little bit later. Active managerial control is designed to keep food safe throughout the flow of food in the operation. You are going to anticipate potential foodborne illness risk factors and control or eliminate them. Apply what you have learned in ServSafe. Monitor the flow of food. Provide staff with proper tools to make sure food is safe. Procedures and training. To implement active managerial control, you identify risk, you monitor, you have a corrective action for those that don't go right, management oversight at all times, training for every single employee and retraining, and evaluation and reevaluation of your employees. To identify risk, find and document potential foodborne illness risk in the operation. Identify the hazards that can be controlled or eliminated. When you monitor, food will be safe if managers monitor critical activities. Identify where employees must monitor food safety requirements. For example, when temperatures must be taken, how often sanitizer concentrations should be tested. A corrective action is when you take appropriate steps to correct improper procedures or behaviors. For example, if a sanitizer level is too low, increase the concentration level. Verify that all policies, procedures, and corrective actions are followed. If you have to temp a product when you're cooking, most likely there's somewhere that you're supposed to write down what that temperature was when you checked it. And that's where the corrective action number 3 comes in. If you find that the temperature is too low, you immediately cook it longer and then retemp it and make sure that it has met your basic guideline. Training. Ensure employees are trained to follow procedures and retrained when necessary. Periodically assess the system to make sure it's working correctly and effectively. The FDA provides recommendations for controlling common risk factors for foodborne illness. Demonstration of knowledge, staff health control, controlling hands as a vehicle of contamination, time and temperature parameters, and consumer advisories. The HACCP approach is based on identifying significant biological, chemical, or physical hazards at specific points within a product's flow and in operation. Once identified, hazards can be prevented, eliminated, or reduced to safe levels. To be effective, a HACCP system must be based on a written plan. It must be specific to each facility's menu, customers, equipment, processes, and operations. A plan that works for one operation may not work for another. And that's it for Chapter 8.